I'm Yarugula Anthony, your mathematics lecturer. So this is the second class on chapter set. I'm going to discuss you three methods of writing the set. Okay. So in the textbook, only two methods of set is mentioned here, but I am going to discuss three methods of writing the set. So try to understand the concept. It's very simple and very easy. Okay. Let's begin this one. So the first one here is descriptive form, and the second one here is listing method. Third one here is set builder method. Okay, so we are going to learn one by one what they are and how they are written. Okay, so try to understand this concept. So here first let us begin with descriptive form. See, in the textbooks you will be coming across this word, but you will not be anywhere, it will not be mentioned that it is a descriptive form. So please don't get confused with that. I am trying to just explain you what is this one. Okay, see, in the descriptive form of writing the set, the statement only will be given to you, and based on the statement you should be able to write the set elements. Okay, and using the next two methods. Okay, but here what is this descriptive form? Here is the statements would be like this: A is equals to set of, okay, first 9 natural numbers. So anybody who reads this statement will be able to write the elements using the next two methods which I am going to discuss with you all. Okay, so the statement, only the statement will be given to you like this: set of first 9 natural numbers. So you know what all numbers you need to write, right? So I'm just giving you another example. B is equals to, okay, set of, okay, rainbow colors. Rainbow colors. So when you read this statement, you know how to, or you know what elements must be written. So in this way what happened is, the statement will be describing you what elements you have to write. So this method of writing the set is called as a descriptive form of writing the set. Once again I would like to mention, this form is not mentioned in the textbook, but this form will be written, that means questions will be there on this form. Okay, so that's why I have taken this form. So please don't get confused about textbook and this one. Okay, the next thing is, second one we see listing method. Now this is definitely mentioned in the textbook. Listing method. Okay, this is mentioned in the textbook. Okay, so there are other forms, other names for this listing method. What is that other names here is, you can call it by a name listing method, or in some textbooks it will be called by the name tabular method, and in some textbooks they call by the name roster method. I think this is known to you, roster method. Okay, and if you are referring any CET book and all, if you're solving the problems based on CET, then in the CET books and all, they will be writing like this: explicit method. Explicit method. So all these names are saying only one method. So don't get confused about these names. Okay, so whether they may say you listing method or a tabular method or a roster method or explicit method, all are one only. They are saying only one thing. Okay, now this is a very important method of writing the set. I have already told you about descriptive method. They will just give you the description of the set and you have to write the elements, I said. So to write the elements, now this is the first method of writing the elements. Okay, now in this method, see, the name suggests you listing method. So simple, right? So here you are straight away writing the elements within the brackets. So there are like, see, only this type of brackets must be used. Only this type of brackets. What is the name of this bracket? See, some call it as a curly bracket. Okay, some call it as a flower bracket, and some they just called as a braces. Okay, so you can call by any name, whether you call it by a curly bracket or a flower bracket or braces, it's left to you. Okay, but very important thing is while using the listing method, you have to use these two braces. If you have seen the descriptive form while I was explaining, I did not use any brackets. I just wrote the statement simple. Okay, but here brackets are compulsory. Okay, and inside the brackets you should start writing the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you write the elements, don't forget to use the commas. The elements must be separated by commas. And one more thing, in some textbooks the elements are also called as members. We said these are elements, right? This is what we wrote, elements. In some textbooks they call it as members. So don't get confused with these two words. Elements and members, both are same, they are not different. Okay, so different authors, different mathematicians call them in a different way. Okay, so but what they are now, they are the elements of the set A. See here, straight away we are listing the elements, so no confusion, nothing. You have to open a flower bracket or a curly bracket and close that and write the elements separated by the columns. Commas. Okay, I will write to another example here now. See here, so it is like this: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I have closed this. Can you see this one? I have opened a flower bracket, I have closed the flower bracket, and I wrote the numbers separated by the columns. So everybody clearly knows what are the elements in this. There is no confusion. Everybody can easily read this. Say for example, if I take another example, I take A, E, I, O, U. Okay. Now these elements are also clearly mentioned. There is no confusion. Okay, there is nothing hidden. There is nothing to think about them. Just straight away the numbers are mentioned, the alphabets are mentioned. You have to go through them and start solving the problems of them. Okay. Now this is a listing method or tabular method or a roster method or explicit method. And in the last class I told you that order is not important, but if you write it in order, it will be well and good for you. That is the first thing. And the second thing I told, numbers must not be repeated. This is compulsory. Numbers must not be repeated. Okay, you have to write one number one time only. Okay, so like this is the second method of writing the set. Now let us go to the third method of writing the set. Third method of writing the set, that is set builder form. Or method. See, set builder method has another name. What is that name? As I told you, different people will call them in a different names. Okay, set builder form or set builder method is also called as a rule method. Yes, in the schools you used this name, right? It is also called, as I told you, in CET books and all, it is also called as implicit method. Implicit method. Okay, now this method, like most of the students, so they find little difficult in like understanding this method. Okay, so I will try my level best to convince you people, so to make you understand and to help you to write any set in this method. See here, in the set builder method there will be two parts. One is a variable part, separated by a semicolon, or you can use a dash like this, whatever it is. Okay, so semicolon, In the right side part, description of variable. Description of variable. But both are in the flower bracket only. So in the left part you should write a variable, and in the right part you have to explain what is that variable. So the right part, description is there. See, the description must be in every way, it should be satisfying the reader. Okay, the one who is reading the description must be able to write all the elements which belongs to that description. There should not be any doubts, there should not be any questions again regarding that variable. So regarding that variable, what all you can say, you have to write it on the right hand side. For example, see, if I want to take a set x is equals to, a is equals to x separated by a colon. Now I have to say what is this x saying. So first of all, I can say x is a natural number. I'm straightforward, I'm saying x is a natural number. Okay, if x is a natural number, how many natural numbers you want the reader to write, that is what depends upon you now. Okay, you have to put the second condition. The first condition, x is a natural number. Okay, when you say x is a natural number, everybody starts thinking about natural numbers. That means they start thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. But the question comes, how many numbers you want? Isn't it? So for that, you have to again add the condition. What is that condition? And x greater than 1 and less than 10. So if you put this condition, I think the reader will now understand what numbers to write, right? See, first of all, x is a natural number and x is greater than 1 and less than 10. So any reader who is writing this, who reads this, will start writing x greater than 1 means he starts writing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So clearly the reader understands we should not write 1 and we should not write 10. Why? Because it is greater than 1 and less than 10. So these are the numbers the reader can write when he reads your statement like this. Okay. See, I will take another example. If a is equals to x such that x belongs to n and x greater than or equal to 1 less than 10. Now the condition is changed. Where the condition is changed, can you see this one? I wrote even greater than and also equal to. Now the reader who is reading this statement will clearly understand now x is the natural number. And the second condition says you can take even 1. Why? Because equal to sign is there here, right? So the reader will start now writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he cannot write 10. Reason is what? Because it is only less than 10. So the reader will stop writing the numbers here. So if I take another example like this, say for example, here if I put equal to sign, then what the reader will do? So a is equals to. Now the reader understands it is a natural number and he has to start listing the number from 2 because greater than 1. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. He can even take 10 because of this equal to sign. So he will take 10. So this way, depending upon the condition, the second condition what you put, the numbers will be written very thoroughly. Now another example I will take. See here I will take in both the cases equal to. Now by this time you might have understood what all numbers will be in this set. Okay. Now this I am going to leave it for your comment. Okay. So I want you people to answer this question in the comment section. Okay. So I hope that you have understood these three methods of writing the sets. Okay, so if you have not understood any part of this, my suggestion is just go through that video once again and try to pause there and try to understand that concept. It is not too difficult for you to understand. Okay, in the next class, that is in the third class, I am going to teach you the different types of sets. Okay, till then, so understand this concept and please send the comment answers. Okay, I'll be waiting for your answers, and at the same time I thank for all the students who have sent encouraging comments on me. So I am greatly encouraged by your comments. So please be doing the same and be practicing, and I'll be waiting for your answers. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you one and all.